5.2 you have religious and linguistic minorities and their social, economic and political see minorities are definitely who are less in population in comparison to a particular group, and the constitution does not explicitly define the term minority, but article 29 and 30 clearly mentions and acknowledges the presence of minority and the need to protect their rights, and it says that those groups who have distinct culture, language and script can be considered as a minority. Now, in that context, you have two different types of minority. One is religious minority. So, religious minorities, how many religious minorities we have? Muslims, 14.2%, Christians, some 2.3%, then you have Sikhs, some 1.7%, Buddhists, some 0.7%, Jains, some maybe 0.4%, and some small proportion of Parsis. So these are the religious minorities which are there in India. They altogether maybe roughly around some 20% of the total population. And a point to be noted is Muslims in Jammu and Kashmir are not minority. So the minority with respect to the nation and the state differs. Like Sikhs in Punjab are not a minority. So this is quite subjective, but national minorities are these six religions: Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists and Jains and Parsis. Linguistic minorities are present in every state. So who speak a different language or a language other than the official language of the state, for that matter, are considered to be linguistic minorities. So you can see them in every state. Like maybe in Delhi, people speaking Telugu or Tamil are considered to be minority, or maybe Gujarati, or maybe Bengali. Maybe in Andhra Pradesh, a person speaking or a group speaking Marathi are a minority. So again, minorities, linguistic minorities are present almost in every state, and there are certain constitutional safeguards for these minorities, like say for example Article 14, Article 15, Article 16. These can be considered as social safeguards Then you have Article 25, Article 26, Article 27, 28. All these can be considered as religious and cultural safeguards. Specific cultural safeguards include Article 29 and Article 30. For linguistic minorities, you have Article 347, Article 350, Article 350A, Article 350B. So these are constitutional safeguards, and you can also indicate Article 46, Directive Principles of State Policy, which try to promote economic and educational interests of weaker sections. So weaker sections are like all these are weaker sections, including scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. So this particular article encourages the state to take necessary action in order to promote their educational and economic interests, applicable not only to these minorities but also scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. So these are some constitutional safeguards which are present for this minorities, and there are also certain schemes specifically for minorities like pre-metric scholarship for minorities. This is from class 1 to class 10th, and then you have post-metric scholarship for minorities, which covers 11th and 12th class. Then you have merit cum means a scholarship for minorities, which covers undergraduation, graduation, and even some technical courses. Then you have Maulana Azad, a scholarship program which covers professional and technical courses. Then you have SICO or CAMO. This is a skill development initiative for minorities. You have something known as Naya Savera. This is for coaching related to competitive exams. The most important one is Prime Minister's 15-point program, which aims at a holistic development of minorities. Besides this, you have other things like Hamari Darohar, Ustad, Minority Cybergram, etc. So in spite of various constitutional safeguards and various policies, programs, and schemes, there much needed to be done, which reflects in their social, political, and economic status. With respect to minorities, like we also have National Commission of Linguistic Minorities, the National Commission on Educational Institutions of Minorities, and you have Special Linguistic Officer who is established under the provisions of Article 350B. So we have number of policies, programs, schemes, there is no doubt about it. But when it comes to their social, economic, and political status, see, with respect to land, first we'll try education. Land, poverty in social, like say for example, educational levels in Christians, Jains, Parsis and Sikhs are somewhat better, compromised in Muslims and Buddhists. Land, you can see like in Punjab and Haryana, you have, particularly in Punjab, Sikhs have a greater control on land. And poverty, mostly Muslims, but the economic status of these Christian, Jains and Parsis and even Sikhs is much better. Now, with respect to business or trade, you can see that except Muslims and Buddhists, others' condition is somewhat better than others. Political representation, underrepresented, because when Muslims account to 14.2% of the total population, their representation in parliament is less than 5%, as is the case with other religions. You get my point? So you can see that there is a lot of scope for improvement in social, economic and political conditions of these minorities. Again, as I said, like if you take Muslims, their geographical distribution, like they are mostly present in UP, Bihar, Bengal and Kerala. Sikhs are, maybe you can take Christians, they are widely distributed in Kerala, Goa and northeastern states. You take Sikhs, they are mostly present in Punjab and Haryana. You take Buddhists, Neo-Buddhists are mostly present in Maharashtra. You take Jains, Jains are well distributed in Gujarat, Rajasthan and Maharashtra. You take like Parsis again more in Gujarat and Maharashtra, mostly in Maharashtra and few in Gujarat. So with respect to these minorities in these states is somewhat better than other states. You get my point? Maybe a Christian condition in states other than Kerala, Goa and Northeast could not be better. Maybe Sikhs present outside Punjab and Haryana, they may not have a better situation likewise. You get my point? That is what I am saying, that they are majorly distributed here. You can find minorities all throughout the length and breadth of the country. I started with majorly distributed. You get my point? So you can see like Kerala, most probably you will meet either a Muslim or a Christian. In Goa, most probably you might meet a Christian. It's actually the percentage of a particular religious population to the total population is highest in these places. You get my point? So this is something related to their socio-economic status. If you take linguistic minorities are well connected by trade and services, but all the places where they are present, they are having some kind of cultural alienation. So in terms of social aspect, they are feeling a kind of alienation, because there is a situation where the people of other languages are discriminated or calling them by their language, and this is seen anywhere. Like maybe a person from Tamil Nadu in Delhi, maybe they start calling Madrasi, and there is some kind of isolation or alienation. So otherwise, yes, those linguistic minorities who are present in different states are well connected by means of trade and services, and they do well. But this problem is there, and political question doesn't arise because obviously that doesn't contest the elections either in local bodies or the assemblies and the parliament. So obviously, political underrepresentation is there. Once political underrepresentation is there, they do not have much say in policy making or implementation or any decision making. So this we can say as a social, economic, and political status of various religious and linguistic minorities. You get my point? So put the heading religious and linguistic minorities